All right, here's my go-to phrase. The numbers this week are super interesting. Um, it is Monday, May 8th, and we have some really, I know, isn't that crazy? It echoes from Bianca's desk. All right, so total active listings, 1,445. That is almost 20 active listings down from last week. And we are about 400 below our average. When you look back here, I'm going to show you guys the graphs, but we are just really seeing, I can't tell you in the last week how many conversations I've had with buyers about the market here and just about how historically low the numbers are. I had buyers actually tell me, we've got to get a house and we need to move in by middle of June. I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. We need to. So really, but that's a good point, is what was my strategy is going into their criteria in the area that they were looking at and seeing what's been on the market for 2 weeks or more. That's a deal. Like that's where you can go in. They're not the primo, maybe not the best street or whatever it is, but that's their decision. They can make that choice. But, that was our go-to. And we have a showing today at 3:00 of something that's been on the market a couple of weeks. So that's going to have to be what we're doing. New listings in the last 7 days, we're down almost 10 new listings. This is when the market should be ramping up, and it's continuing to cool down. We're down 2 listings from last week in new pendings. And look at the closings. Look at the closings, down from 229 to 178. So there are almost 50 fewer closings in the last week. The last time we had numbers, around that was the beginning of April, and then obviously the end of March. But crazy. Average days on market is kicking back up again, not surprising, as we've seen these numbers cool off. There's no new listings, right? So we're seeing those numbers come up again. So we're up 10 average days on market. Not surprising at all. As a reminder, these numbers are from Allegheny County only single family homes. So I'd just like to remind you, I wanted to show you here because you know how sometimes we talk and we see how these numbers on average sales price pop up. 319, I'm going to show you what that is. Look what closed last week. We had 5 properties above $1 million, one at 2.85 in Sewickley that sold last week. So that explains why this took a big jump, almost $50,000 in average price from 271 to 319. So congrats to that agent who got 2.5% on 2.85, 71,000 in case your math hadn't been mathing so quickly, but 71,000, nice. But man, those can be expensive to market sometimes. Okay. Number of price reductions staying close there from 167 down to 162. But the sales price to list price ratio has gone down 1.5-ish from 99.97 to 98.5. So I think we're going to see that continue to go down as we're seeing these days on market here, right? As this increases, this will decrease. Number of expireds, we have 58 expires, which is up, and what we had mid-April, but up from 45 to 58. And we have 6 new agents joining the West Penn MLS, and I wanted to clarify that actually, it's not always agents. Sometimes they're appraisers. It could be other members of the MLS besides realtors. But what we are seeing here is a little dip, even after the Fed did their little tap dance on interest rates last week. Currently, one of the lenders that I grabbed this data from, some media site that she's got, is at 6.88. So I did want to show you the graphs. I rarely show these because graphs are weird, but look at the total active listings and how we peaked up here in November, and we've just been plateaued here. With very few exceptions this spring, we've seen a little bit of up and down, but it's really stayed flat, super flat.
Jennifer, I have a question.
Yeah.
What's it normal, like a normal market for Allegheny County? Do you know? Like I saw that it peaked above like 2,000. Is it like, oh, things are more or less normal at like 3,000, 25 or what?
I have only been tracking since August 1st. That's when I've really started
Uh,
being diligent. After I took the TL position, I was like, this is something that I think we should be having more substantive conversation around is these numbers and watching it. I was tracking pretty extensively during COVID. If I can find those numbers, I will share them with y'all. Maybe on next Monday, I'll see if I can go back and see what the numbers looked like during COVID. But we're even below what was happening during COVID in terms of number of listings. But off the top of my head, I don't know. All I do know is that we do, we obviously we don't have enough inventory, and I'll try to find the actually, I'll add it to the spreadsheet by next week, which is the calculation that shows you if everything sold, like how long would it take for everything currently listed to sell? And I think we're just at, like, if you look at core data here, total closings 178. If, let's see, give me just a second. Let me some math numbers. Divided by 4 equals. So it looks about 8 weeks. It would take about 8 weeks. So we only have about 2 months worth of inventory. I know I'm butchering that calculation, but I'll find the actual calculation and we'll add it here so that we can start seeing like how many months of inventory do we have. This is just not enough. I know a more balanced market is like 4 months. And anything more than that is a buyer's market, right? So we're just still, it's again, the conversation we're having is, yes, interest rates are high, but people still have to buy and there's not enough inventory. So there is still a great bit of demand. I made an offer on a property on Sunday in Regent Square. They had no offers at the time we submitted, and now there's 7 in hand. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Does anybody have any questions about this week's numbers? Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Hope everybody has a good week. Hey, how are your, Ken, did you grab your flyers? Did they print up?
no, I did not. I was completely out of commission this weekend, but
Okay.
I was going to this week coming up. Thank you.
Sure. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. You know where to find me.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Bye, y'all.